Not had any rain. And I think I can say that because I don't think I'm jinxing it. So this is the 20th annual reading of the document that marked the birth of our nation, the Declaration of Independence. For many years in many communities in America, it was customary on the 4th to gather for a public reading of the Declaration, but that tradition stopped sometime before living memory here in Freehold. The suggestion to revive it came from our friend, the late Sam Sagotsky, who believed, as I think all of us here have also come to believe, how important it is to hear these words spoken aloud on this day. Sam's son, daughter-in-law, and two grandchildren are right here. Raise your hands so we can see. We are diminished this year by the loss of one beloved participant, Lily Ham Hendry, our lead reader, who died on June 1st at the age of 95. In order to replace her, we're going to have two people. We're going to have Margaret Rogers and Reverend Sparks from Bethel AME Church, because Lily needs two people to replace her. The first time we did this, it was a tribute to Sam. We didn't know how many people would show up or how it would go or whether we ever do it again. But a lot of people did show, and it went well. And when it was over, Lily said, well, next year we need some music. She just assumed there would be a next year, that we had started a tradition, and she was right, and we will miss her. So our leader for the reading is Nolan Higgins, our Mayor Emeritus, who today is taking the role of our town's most prominent citizen of the Revolutionary War era, Dr. Nathaniel Scudder, the only member of the Continental Congress to die in combat during the American Revolution. He lived where Rita's is. Dr. Scudder was born here in Monmouth Courthouse, as Freehold was then known, educated at Princeton, and lived in a house that was there until about the 1890s, right where Rita's is. He was among the earliest and most ardent leaders of the Patriot cause, giving up his medical practice to fight for independence from Great Britain, serving as a colonel in the New Jersey militia, a delegate in the newly formed New Jersey legislature, a member of the Continental Congress, where he was a signer of the Articles of Confederation. He was not a signer of the Declaration. On October 17, 1781, word reached him here in Freehold that loyalist raiders from Sandy Hook had taken 6 prisoners from Colts Neck, and he set off with a group of men on horseback from right here to chase them. They met at Black's Point on the Shrewsbury River in what is now Rumson. He was shot and killed in a skirmish there. 3 days later, the British surrendered at Yorktown, effectively ending the war. So this is how it works. A dispatch rider will arrive from Philadelphia to deliver the document to Dr. Scudder, who will start the reading. The other readers will then proceed to the microphone to read the lines and then step down. This is why I want you to have a copy of this. We will all read the final paragraph together, led by Dr. Scudder. The names of the signers will then be read, and the firehouse bell will toll for each of the 13 colonies. After the last, and the fire for each of the 13 colonies, which became states on this day 248 years ago. After the last of the 13, the bell will then peal more rapidly, 37 more times, and Dr. Scudder will then announce the name of each state in the order in which it joined our union. So you can watch our nation grow as the bell rings. We will then raise the flag, say the Pledge of Allegiance together, and Mr. James Armour, who sang at the fireworks last night, we got him again, will sing the national anthem. And then we can all go home and try to do what generations of Americans have tried to do ever since, try to fulfill the promise of these words. So, Dr. Scudder. Yeah, I got to call the dispatch rider. Okay. After he arrives and delivers this, color guard from American Legion Post 54 will stand.
Detail, halt! Left, face! Order, arms!
In Congress, July 4, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, driving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government.
The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them.
He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures.
He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasion on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time, after such disillusions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migration hither, and raising the condition of new appropriations of land.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers.
He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators.
He has effected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
For protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trade with all parts of the world.
For imposing taxes on us without our consent.
For depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury.
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies.
For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments.
For suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coast, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation.
He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
He has excited domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren.
We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us.
We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here.
We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
They, too, have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity.
We must therefore acquiesce in necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war and peace friends.
Georgia.
Together, we, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these United Colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections with Great Britain in the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Georgia. Button Gwinnett.
Lyman Hall. George Walton. North Carolina.
William Hooper.
Joseph Hughes.
John Penn.
South Carolina. Edward Rutledge, Thomas Hayward Jr., Thomas Lynch Jr., Arthur Middleton.
Massachusetts. John Hancock, Samuel Adams.
John Adams, Robert Treat Payne, Eldridge Gerry.
Maryland. Samuel Chase, William Haka, Thomas Stone, Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
Virginia, George Wythe, Richard Henry Lee, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Harrison, Thomas Nelson Jr., Francis Lightfoot Lee, Carter Braxton.
Pennsylvania. Robert Morris, Benjamin Rush, Benjamin Franklin, John Morton, George Clymer, James Smith, George Taylor, James Wilson, and George Ross.
Delaware. Caesar Rodney, George Reed, Thomas McCain.
New York. William Floyd, Philip Livingston, Francis Lewis, Lewis Morris. New Jersey. Richard Stockton, John Witherspoon.
Francis Hopkinson, John Hart, Abraham Clark.
New Hampshire. Josiah Bartlett, William Whipple, Matthew Thornton.
Rhode Island. Stephen Hopkins, William Ellery.
Connecticut. Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, William Williams, Oliver Wolcott.
Vermont, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, Mississippi, Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, Arkansas, Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, California, Minnesota, Oregon, Kansas, West Virginia, Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, Hawaii.
Raising of the flag by the chiefs.
The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carried.
James Armour is going to sing God Bless America and then the national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. Everybody help me. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of free and the home of the
Not much to say after that. So, color guard dismissed. Thank you. 20 years, no rain. Thank you to all the readers. Thank you to Pete Zaleski and the motorcyclists for the parade down the street and for delivering the dispatch. Thank you to thank you to everybody who helped put this together. Thank you to our chiefs, our new chief, Chief Colonier of the police, Chief Sims of the fire department for raising the flag. And thank you to the Sagotsky family. Thank you. We also had a descendant reader today. Joseph Hughes from North Carolina is a descendant of Joseph Hughes was not here. His descendant was here reading it. And most of all, thank you to Mr. James Armour. So next year, same place, same time. We'll see you then.